Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we got ourselves a ton of news, including Triplemania's success, or not, for WWE. Also, we've got more information on when WWE might be headed to ESPN, and a certain Painmaker might be on his way to WWE. In addition, we're going to give you guys our reaction to the winner of the G1 final and what that means for the wrestling landscape outside of WWE. But first, Larson, everybody's talking about it. The review did well. My hot takes over WrestleJuice did well. I'm sure our star ratings are going to do well. Triplemania, the first Triplemania under WWE. Was it a success? Or was it a big old flop, Larson? You tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what, WWE was pretty quick to tout the success of AAA's first Triplemania since being purchased, although I don't think the purchase is official, by WWE earlier this year. WWE issued a press release this morning which read, quote, Triplemania 33, Mexican Lucha Libre promotion AAA's largest annual event, became the most viewed and highest grossing Triplemania event history. Streamed globally on WWE and AAA's YouTube channels in Spanish and English. The broadcast has been watched by more than 4.3 million viewers in the first 24 hours and hit a peak live concurrent audience of 614,000 with a crowd of 19,691 and Arena CDMX in Mexico City this past Saturday. Triplemania marked the highest attendance for any Mexican Lucha Libre show this year and set AAA's all-time gate record. Additionally, the event broke records for highest ever merchandise sales in AAA history.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say this. Granted, it's not like they could have, maybe they'll do a stadium show at some point, but according to Wikipedia, the very first Triplemania was actually attended by over 48,000 fans. Of course, they weren't paying WWE's huge ticket prices. I don't know.
Well, I guess it said here Triplemania is the highest attended Lucha Libre show this year and set AAA's all-time gate record.
Right. That's why I'm clarifying in terms of actual people in attendance, but the ticket prices obviously are going to be a lot more than 1993.
Yes.
Especially in the WWE, it's probably going to go up a lot more.
Substantially more. I'm not really on social media anymore, so I don't know what the conversation is about. With that's what the conversation is about Amos.
So Amos and Demon Balor.
All right. That's kind of what I imagine. I guess in terms of how the show was received, I look at our comments specifically in our review for Triplemania.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And while there is some criticism, and I don't know how heavy this criticism is, saying, yeah, this felt like a WWE show, it seemed like for the most part, based on our comments, most people enjoyed the show.
Yeah. Now the conversation on social media, from what I was able to gather, because I did get on there to just sort of gauge reaction, it's mostly positive. It's the people were looking at especially, and I mentioned the Omos thing because the Omos Microman standoff was like the image, that and Finn's little demon puppet were like the images, and people seemed to be really, really well. It was well received. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of negativity, at least sort of with the algorithm that's being fed the Steven Larson Twitter account. It was, like they said in their press release, they were trending number one for a little while during the show. And from what I can gather, a lot of that was very positive. Now, would it be different amongst the Spanish language, the actual, the Mexican crowd? I don't know. But, if there are diehard AAA fans who are like, this sucks, muy malo. I don't know. But, by and large, from what I saw, the conversation was very positive. And like you said, in our comments as well, a lot of people, I had several over at WrestleJuice who were saying, this is the very first Triplemania I've ever seen. I'd be like, listen, go back 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, and you'll be in for a treat because it's all this, but more bloodier, crazier, more unpredictable.
Yeah.
But people seem to really like the show. And this is one thing that you and I kind of observed during our live stream is several people were saying, WWE, it's kind of as if you could take this same blueprint and apply it to your main roster premium live events, and you'd probably get warmer receptions with that because there isn't the incessant video packages and advertisements and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I think some people were even saying, oh, there's a lesson to be learned here for WWE's main product.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it seems like it was a success across the board. And then, of course, we've got Worlds Collide coming up. It was announced already that we've got Dom Mysterio versus Vikingo straight up one-on-one at title, that show. I don't know if anything else has been announced for that, but right now that's on tap for that show, and that should be a pretty big one as well, September 12th.
You think so? Going back to previous Triplemanias, both Triplemania 26 and 27. 26 is the one where Santos Escobar, El Hijo de Fantasma, lost his mask. And then 26 is Blue Demon versus Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah.
One of the most insane matches I've ever seen.
Oh, big time, yeah. Oh, yeah, that match was crazy match, yeah.
Crazy, and that was what, 2019? So that was, August 3rd, 2019. So he has some AEW talent on that show. Yeah.
What was the date on the next Triplemania? Did they do one in 2020 or did they wait until 2021? Because I thought they did an empty arena one.
So in 2020. They did. Let's see. It was December of 2020.
Okay, and I think that was wasn't that Pagano versus Chessman in the main event? Yeah. I know it's empty arena, but that was one of my favorite empty arena shows I've ever seen. That was also
the same show with Kenny versus Laredo Kid, where Laredo kicked out of the second rope.
If I'm not
Angel
mistaken,
at like 3.15.
It was also the Restless Mariachi.
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
there was a dude. Boy, those were fun times. There was a guy dressed as a mariachi. I think it was an actual mariachi.
Well, there was a whole band,
and there was a guy. Band, You could see him when they'd go to commentary. You could see the guy, like one guy, sitting back there in a chair, and he was just so restless.
Yeah.
I don't know those little things, man. I'm gonna miss that stuff. But yeah. Well, where do you see that we got Worlds Collide coming up? Like I said, September 12th, less than a month from now.
Yeah.
Dom versus Vikingo straight up. Word is Vikingo might be at Raw tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Fightful Espanol reported that coming up off the Success Triplemania. Both Mr. Iguana and Vikingo are expected to be at tonight's Raw, with Fightful adding that, quote, there will be semi-regular integration of AAA talent across much of WWE programming. Maybe there's a possibility we'll get a singles match, Mr. Iguana versus Finn Balor.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be a good one. That'd be good.
They want to sell those demon puppets.
I suspect they're probably flying off the shelves. I'm curious.
I don't know about that price tag, man.
Dude, that's the other thing I saw on Twitter. People are snapping those things up. And like I said, I don't know, I had a couple people in my comments saying, yeah, for a plushie like that, that's actually a normal price.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that goes under what do we know?
Yeah, what do we know?
Well,
I mean, we have kids. Not that my kids necessarily buy plushies anymore per se, but within the last few years,
I'm not talking about for kids, man. I'm talking about for like collectible items. Adults pay money hand over fist for like collectible shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. I want to see if this thing is, because it's for some reason it's not on the thing. Here we go. Finn Balor should be on their front page. Oh, here we go. No, it hasn't sold out yet.
Are they selling Layeska puppets on there?
I don't know. I'll see if. Let me see if Mr.
Now, if they really want to make money, W, they should sell the 2-pack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Iguana. Mr. Iguana. Here we go. No, they have
just the T-shirt. They got a Matt logo on it.
They got a Matt Riddle plushie doll that comes up when you put in Mr. Iguana. So I don't know.
It's odd. Yeah, it's not with the company anymore.
Nope.
Let's talk more about WWE, their business dealings. So there's been a lot of rumors and reports about WWE running a show opposite AEW All Out September 20th. And it seems like the show could have a name and a somewhat surprising broadcaster. Russell Votes reported yesterday that the show will be called WrestlePalooza.
Oh, wow.
While PW Insider added that the show might not be airing on Peacock and it could serve as a sneak preview of WWE's new deal with ESPN. This is what PW Insider had to say, quote, "There has been discussion within the broadcast industry over the last few days. The planned added WWE event for this September, scheduled for 9/20 in Indianapolis, could end up being an extra unique event that would air on ESPN as a preview of the type of programming WWE will bring to that new partnership when it officially kicks off April 2026. WWE has plans to unveil the new PLE and where it will broadcast sometime this week, we are told." So you get a WPLE named after ECW pay-per-view, which was, of course, inspired by Lollapalooza Music Festival.
Out of all the ECW pay-per-views that they could have, I mean, there's, Hardcore Heaven. Hardcore Heaven, I think, has a connotation to it. You're going to get some hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
What Living Dangerously?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a cool one there.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't go with Bad Blood for the name of this.
Yeah.
Not ECW name, but...
Well, I wonder if, Heyman is still obviously a focal point of what they, I think, want to be the A story, the Vision stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get some, Paul Heyman shenanigans in naming this. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around why, of all the names out there,
I know.
if you want, because you're right. Everybody thought it was going to be Bad Blood because that's been typically around this time when they do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of all the ECW, why not do a One Night Stand? Also has connotation because you think they're going to bring back some ECW people.
Yeah.
Why, out of all of them, WrestlePalooza? Were they just like, hey, it's a cool sounding name because Lollapalooza is a cool thing.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this.
Sure. What Ultra Clash?
Yeah, Ultra Clash. That was the first big one I think that ECW had. Do you know the main event of the very first WrestlePalooza that went down on, what was it, in September? It was August. It was August of 1995. You and I, that's the month you and I technically met.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
it might have been September. It might have been September.
Yeah, back then they might have done September.
I think generally school started after Labor Day back then.
By the way, this main event here is probably a fucking banger match.
Yeah, it probably was now that I see it.
Yeah, the Gangstas versus Public Enemy. 17 minutes, 51 seconds. A stretcher match?
Yeah, that might be good.
This is one of those matches, maybe 20% of it took place in the ring. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. How about Cyber Slam?
Again, there's kind of a connotation there. You're going to need some sort of online voting apparatus.
All right.
What else you got?
House Party.
Might be some copyright issues with that one. If whoever owns the rights to the House Party movie franchise.
Yeah.
Might get in the way of that one. Yeah.
Second WrestlePalooza, the main event was the Eliminators versus the Dudleys.
The Eliminators sounds like that sounds like some sort of it's what is it, X-Lax,
I mean, if it was the Evacuators, maybe.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Hey, that's what you should be pitching our tag team name as, the Evacuators.
All right, there you go. That I can get aboard with.
Yeah, evacuation, not elimination. Yeah, you're right.
How about this? September of '98, they had Ultra Clash. The main event was Tanaka, RVD, and Sabu versus the Triple Threat. There's Ultra Clash in September.
Yeah, Ultra Clash is a great name. That's a really good, and there's no connotation. There's no this has got to come with some baggage here. No, it's Ultra Clash. I mean, and John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, you could consider that a potential Ultra Clash.
WrestlePalooza kind of undersells what they want the magnitude of that match to be, I feel.
You know what would be fucking cool as hell that they'll never do? Because the Palooza aspect of it has a musical connotation. Do a thing where you bring in some bands.
Oh, to play during the matches like that WCW show they did on the beach?
I was thinking more in between. You bring in, you get Corey Graves, because he's Mr. Cool when it comes to bands and stuff. What was that band that always did the NXT themes? With Code Orange, something like that? Bring them in. Bring in Poppy. I mean, I'm just bringing up names from NXT's past.
Yeah, that's all NXT names, yeah.
Bring in some bands, to play in between the matches. Try to be cool, The
band that does Becky's theme now.
There you go. The Wonder Years. That's what they're called.
Wonder Years. That's what they are, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it make it an event. Make it something different. Be new. Be new.
Yeah,
WWE.
be new. Yeah, take some risks. That's one thing WWE doesn't really do in terms of their programming. Is take risks in terms of what they do
don't.
from a production standpoint, presentation, even for the most part storytelling outside of the John Cena heel turn.
It's going to be the same, just match, video package, match,
Sterile,
video package.
Boring, predictable stuff. Anyways, not predictable, though, was apparently WWE's like, April 2026, too late. Let's get a show on ESPN now. I don't know what kind of loopholes they have in their Peacock deal. They have a premium live event on a different platform, maybe because they may not necessarily be packaging this as a premium live event. Maybe this is something...
My guess would be they wouldn't have... Like, I mean, for example, they run some shows, like the AAA shows. They have Saturday night's main event.
Yeah,
I know it's the same umbrella company. I get that.
Yeah.
But like they can run stuff on their YouTube channel. I wonder if they don't necessarily have an exclusivity deal. They've got a this number of dates deal.
Or I just was wondering if rather than billing this as premium live event and having it available through ESPN's streaming platform, they're just going to put it on ESPN.
Yeah, that's a possibility, in which case...
of course would make it available on their streaming platform too, but sort of like, hey, this is what you can expect from WWE's content on our streaming platform starting next year. They just do a 3-hour commercial, essentially, for WWE on ESPN, with the main event being John Cena versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine if they had like an exclusivity deal... Peacock would probably be like, excuse me, hey, Cena versus Lesnar, you're not going to put it on our stuff?
I know.
So it's probably just like, hey, we're contractually obligated to give you this number of, premium live events, and we're going to make a big deal about it. But like maybe they could just do whatever the fuck they want, wherever they want to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
either.
But yeah, they're on ESPN, so that's okay. I mean, I have
going to announce that tonight on Raw.
That could be. I hope the branding is cool. Make it kind of 90s-ish,
Well, they might wait till Friday since Cena versus Brock, I guess, is a SmackDown match. Maybe they'll wait till Friday.
When is Clash? Yeah, it'd be weird if they waited till after Clash in Paris, huh?
Yeah.
But he's got like a match then, so who knows? Yeah, I don't know. They'll just announce it. Nick Aldis will announce it on Instagram.
Probably.
I've got excited. He's in his, office at home. I've got exciting news. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. WrestlePalooza. What's your favorite Lollapalooza band?
Oh, good question. Did you ever go to Lollapalooza?
No, fuck no. I've never been to a festival show.
Really?
No. I've told you that before.
Oh, I do remember. I didn't know if in your younger days, like that's not something I'm necessarily into now, but yeah, in my younger days, I went to Lollapalooza '95.
Cool. Right on.
Sonic Youth headliner.
No, apropos. Did you wear that shirt because we were talking Paloozas today?
No, it was happenstance. I pulled it out of my drawer here.
Yeah, I don't think I've been to a festival show. I never had any desire. Even when I was younger, I was like, that's too much. They're all doing too much. Never went to Coachella either? No, no.
Only went
no
to
desire. Never did.
It's because the Pixies got back together. So
concert in the park? Does that count?
Yeah, sure.
I don't even think I did that.
Wow.
Yeah. I've seen concerts in the park. I saw at the State Fair like 10 years ago. Joan Jett was there.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Did you walk by or did you actually sit and watch?
Nah, man, we sat and watched. I like Joan Jett. I think she's cool. But like Marissa was into her more than I was.
Gotcha.
And she was with us. So it's like, okay, let's go check this out. She was still good. I think she still is.
Yeah, I think she's
still it's crazy?
Tours and stuff. What?
Julie Newmar's still alive. Speaking of old people.
Wow.
She's 93.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Did you just learn that today?
No, yesterday was her birthday.
Oh, gotcha.
92 or 93, I forget.
Also, Coachella 2004 Radiohead headlined. So that.
Did you go to that one?
Yeah, that's the one I went to. It was Radiohead Pixies. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good show right there. Yeah.
Yeah, Pixies reunion.
Yeah, but no, there's too many like porta potties everywhere. Mm-mm.
I at the time I'm like, wow, I balanced this out perfectly. But in hindsight, I was probably really dehydrated. We got there, we used the bathrooms before like anything started. We bought a ton of water.
Yeah.
And just kept it in a backpack. And I balanced things enough that I didn't use the restroom the rest of the day.
Yeah, you told me that before. You told me that story before.
But in hindsight, it was probably dehydration. I didn't feel dehydrated, though.
Well, that's good. Well, when you're young, you can get away with that stuff.
I know.
You know, these days, oh, my God.
Because that was 21 years ago. It's a while ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
A lot of
we're going to talk about more old people here in a second because Chris Jericho might be heading to the WWE. But first, I want to mention this really quick. Friendo Club setup, man. We are in August. The August Predictions Challenge continues unabated here with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. And then we'll be doing our review of that on Monday. I'm not doing a watch-along for that shit. Did you want to come over? I was thinking of inviting you and Hilton to come over.
Maybe. Let me check in with the family, see if we've got anything going on since it's 10 in the morning. It's an early show, so.
Oh, that's right. It's at 10 in the morning. That's nuts. That's cool. You'd be out of here by, I don't know, either
2,
4, or 2. Yeah.
Well, it'll be probably 2. It'll probably be a 4-hour show.
You think Hilton's an early riser?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Although on the weekend, maybe not.
Would you be jealous if it was just me and him sitting here on my couch?
No, not at all. You do.
Probably a little bit, huh?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it'll probably get in your head a little bit. I'd
want to fight Hilton about it, huh?
It's 10. Ideally, yes. It's 10. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning. What will we eat? Will we wait until like noon, get lunch?
Let's have brunch.
That'd be cool.
I can bring some pancakes over. I make pancakes Sunday morning usually.
Yeah, I don't know if I want like homemade your pancakes. I mean, I appreciate the offer and everything, dude. I'm not talking shit. I'm not. I think it's great. You like by the time you get over here, not exactly fresh.
No, toss them in the air fryer. Good as new.
All right. Well, I have an air fryer. We'll see about that. Anyways, hopefully Larson and Hilton come over. I haven't even invited Hilton. He's probably busy. I don't know. Probably not, though. He ain't doing nothing.
I don't know.
And then, so we got that going on, the big predictions challenge. If you want to in on the predictions challenge, you can't really win anything because SummerSlam's done with, but you can put us all on notice. Click join right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson, or go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup there. You also get access to our question threads and our bonus episodes. We'll be dropping another one of those in about 2 weeks after Clash in Paris. So the first one, thought it was a banger of a bonus episode, or the most recent one we did. We talked about the moral implications of covering WWE and making $1.01 off that. So be sure to check that out. Watch Steve and Larson hem and haw over something they've been doing now for fucking 15 years.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Maybe Chris Jericho is hemming and hawing about what his wrestling future is. So he's been off AEW TV for a while, a few months. But could it be primed for a WWE return in the near future? So Jericho may have dropped a tease on what his future could hold on Instagram, liking a post from JM Playground, which stated that Jericho's AEW deal was up in December of this year and that the Ocho would be open to a WWE return in the right situation. So did Chris Jericho just spoil everything by liking informational graphic on Instagram?
Jericho has always been very savvy when it comes to his usage of social media. Well, as it pertains to like his, his career stuff anyways. Other times not so much. But I don't know, dropping little hints about his future. Maybe, I don't know. WWE would take him in a heartbeat. They like them old guys.
They do like the older wrestlers, yes.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd rather see him in WWE than AEW.
I don't disagree with that. I think at this point, him and AEW, the bloom has come off the rose.
Oh, the bloom came off a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's not to say that if he takes an elongated break, the fans may welcome him back, but it was a situation where it was pretty clear the audience in AEW didn't want him in AEW for the time being. And if he's off TV there another 3, 4, 5 months, comes back with something interesting to do, that may change. But maybe he's already won the world championship there. He's won the Ring of Honor title twice. He's already done a lot during his time in AEW. And when AEW started, his presence there really helped legitimize AEW as a promotion to take seriously.
It cannot be overstated just how much of a revelation it was for him to leave WWE and show up in New Japan. That was that was huge. It's easy for that to get lost these days because he hasn't been interesting in a very long time.
Yep.
But when he did that stuff, that was nuts. Because it was his first match against Naito. Is that right?
It was against Kenny.
Was it? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. It was against Kenny. Callis put that together. That's right. That was insane. And him being, the biggest name to join AEW when it started was huge for that, massive for that company. It's just, it got boring relatively quick. By 2022 or so, it was like, all right, we're kind of doing the same thing. And, it hasn't been interesting in a very long time. Do you think there's anything still in AEW he could do that could be interesting? I mean, we've seen it before. For example, in 2020, Roman Reigns, where it was like, God, is this guy ever going to be interesting at all?
Yeah.
Found the thing. Jericho is different in that he's done like kind of everything there is to do. And I don't know that there's anything new that he can bring to AEW where it'd be like, oh, wow, this is cool. I just, honestly, and I'm not opposed to it. I'm like, hey, if it's there, let's see it. But I'd be hard pressed to think there's anything new he could bring to the equation in AEW.
Yeah, and it would have to be something fairly seismic and monumental, I think, for the AEW fan base to be like, oh wow, all right, this is interesting. If he just comes back with a slight variation of what he's been doing, people ain't gonna be into that.
There's such a great energy, largely because of sort of who AEW is presenting these days. They're younger. They're cornerstones. They're people who are probably going to be there for a while. They're, ride or dies with AEW. And, dusting off Jericho for him to do some, oh, now I'm doing this gimmick. Now I'm, it's just, I don't know that there's anything there that, and on top of that, they're all match guys. And Jericho is what has been perfectly capable of bringing good matches, even in his advanced years. I don't know that would be something that anybody would really, I don't know. Maybe Swerve can bring something fun out of Jericho, Maybe it would depend on the opponent.
It would depend on the opponent, but I think ultimately it also depends on what angle Chris Jericho would be taking with his character. Now in WWE, would they, I guess it would make a certain amount of sense if Cody's going to hold that title for a while, do a program with Jericho, maybe.
That's the thing, right? Like, it would be at this point kind of reliant on the matchups.
Yeah.
And I think the same could be said for AEW. I don't know what do you even remember what was the last thing he did in A? He was doing the New York Minute stuff.
It was a Learning Tree New York
and
Minute
he was
stuff.
Ring of Honor champion for a while.
Lost that back to Bandito.
Yeah. Yeah, the Learning Tree stuff. And that was kind of weird. But like, yeah, if you give us some matchups with Jericho and some of the top names in WWE, I think there's probably some entertainment value to be had from that. And it's not like he's got to work like crazy awesome matches, but I think he'd be capable of doing what Cody and Cena did, I think,
So
in their last match.
His last match in AEW, his last match was, what is this, April 6th. At Dynasty when he lost the title to Bandito. So 4 months off TV. Okay,
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. If the matchups are good and they're able to bring some good stories to it, then I'm sure that, Jericho can be a value still in AEW. Same could be said for WWE, but it would necessitate some fun matchups. It couldn't just be Jericho, hey, fucking whoever, it would need to be interesting character matchups.
Yeah.
So,
let's talk about this. G1 finals happened this weekend. And the matchup was Takeshita versus Evil. Takeshita won. It's pretty huge for Takeshita. So he gets a IWGP World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. Of course, current champion Zack Sabre Jr., who Takeshita beat to get to the final.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question is, last year kind of set the precedent where Sabre won and didn't wait till Wrestle Kingdom to cash in.
Mm-hmm.
Could something like that happen this year, or is Takeshita going to carry that briefcase all the way until Wrestle Kingdom? Because the thought just occurred to me, Forbidden Doors coming up in a week. Would it be possible for Takeshita to cash in his opportunity and get his title match there against Zack Sabre Jr.?
Let me counter your question with another question.
All right, I'll think of a question to answer your question then.
Because you're right, thank you. Zack Sabre Jr. cashed in at a London show or a UK show.
Yeah.
Is cashing in at Forbidden Door a bigger deal or not as big a deal as Zack Sabre Jr. cashing in London? Because I feel like they're both substantially lesser deals than going to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
I always thought the Zack Sabre Jr. cashing in early was a bad look. I don't follow New Japan. Maybe it was fucking awesome. But just from an outsider and having watched New Japan, from 2017 until whatever, 2022 or whatever.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like, really? Like, you're not going to do it at Wrestle Kingdom, which is their WrestleMania.
It felt like, well, we need to give the ticket sales to this London show a kick in the pants, so let's have Zack Sabre Jr. win the title there, cash in his opportunity.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
That's how it kind of felt. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, Wrestle Kingdom is New Japan's WrestleMania. It's their largest show of the year. I mean, if I were the G1 winner, you're telling me I get a guaranteed main event spot on that show for the title, as opposed to a mid-card match at Forbidden Door?
And that's what it would be?
It would be, because either the AEW World title is going to main event, Hangman versus MJF, or I guess there's an outside chance since Ospreay's in it, the cage match could main event, maybe.
Yeah.
But an IWGP World Heavyweight title match is not going to main event Forbidden Door. Yeah, you wait till Wrestle Kingdom. You get the main event. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because even in the London show, that was the main event. That's the placement is a good point. Your top title and your big Royal Rumble WrestleMania moment, Royal Rumble 2 WrestleMania moment, because that's what the G1 is. Maybe could be considered that. You get your guaranteed shot. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you take that you take it to Wrestle Kingdom, simply because then you got AEW promoting Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, and
Because
also with
Takeshita's
Takeshita just beating Sabre to make it to the finals, if he were to cash in at Forbidden Door, all right, Sabre retains. That's an easy call.
Yeah, that's simple. Yeah.
If they wait till Wrestle Kingdom, which is another 4.5 months, then you don't know. I mean, I'd still lean Sabre, but you don't know. And the idea of Takeshita having the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, wrestling in New Japan, but also showing up in AEW carrying that belt, that could be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Takeshita's great. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Absolutely, without a doubt.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, it's just, the AEW New Japan relationship. What does that mean to this? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of interesting stuff right there. I mean, it's already interesting. The guy won the stuff. He was in there with Evil. And yeah, you and I'm assuming you thought that Evil had this locked up, right?
Well, not necessarily locked up, but I would have thought, well, Evil's the dude signed to New Japan full time, so he'd probably win.
Yeah.
As unexciting as an Evil win would be.
Right.
I just kind of thought that would be the case. I mean, Takeshita winning it makes things more interesting potentially.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, absolutely.
But then if it's just a short-term thing, Takeshita win, it's because they want to motivate an IWGP title match for Forbidden Door. All right, you kind of
don't do
selling
that
short
for the
whole
G1.
You're selling short the G1. I know.
It
for
is.
the second year in a row.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. That's interesting stuff. But then, again, like I said, man, we don't cover New Japan on the regular. Let's say they do Takeshita Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. Are you hip to the landscape of New Japan at all enough to say, okay, well, what is the Wrestle Kingdom match? When is Tanahashi? Is Tanahashi December 31st? Is that like the last day? Is this his actual last
I'd be
year?
surprised. It's his last year, but I'd be surprised if it doesn't culminate at Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe
Same,
they do
because it's
Takeshita
3 days
versus,
later or 4 days later.
Maybe they do Takeshita versus Tanahashi for the title at Wrestle Kingdom, which would be pretty huge.
Well, I was going to say Zack Sabre Jr. versus... If
Tanahashi.
Zack Sabre Jr. retains
at
Forbidden Door, then it would be him versus Tanahashi. And I could see that as being a passing the torch thing, Boy. Oh, God. Could you imagine the dragon screws that Zack Sabre Jr. going to give Tanahashi?
The obscure submission moves that Zack Sabre Jr. busts out for that match.
For those poor knees. Oh, my God.
I know.
Gosh, darn it, man. Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I was surprised to see that. I wonder if the match. I haven't heard anything about the quality of the match, the Evil versus Takeshita. I'm sure it was probably pretty good because Takeshita's kind of like a banger match guy, but
but then Evil's in the ring.
But then Evil's not. So
and you got the House of Torture overbooking. You never know how that's going to go.
I mean,
sometimes
but that's
that
a positive,
fun.
Sometimes
it could be fun, but sometimes it could be like, oh my gosh, this again.
People love House of Torture.
I don't know if they love House of Torture.
I think in Japan they do. I think
they started getting over when they started becoming more of a comedic act as opposed to...
They're like Judgment Day. I mean, honestly, man, that's like the ultimate dream match for me is Judgment Day versus House of Torture at this point.
Now we're talking.
That'd be fun.
Now we're talking. Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, so I did, just to clue you in, I did ask people not only for questions, but also a little bit of the what do you want to talk about. So there might be some news items from the weekend that we can talk about. Or not. I don't know. We're going to see what people want us to talk about. First up, I like this. It's not a wrestling question. Carlos Diaz asks, what are some of your favorite or best utilized MacGuffins in cinema? Of course, it's like an object that serves as a plot device. Sometimes it means something. Sometimes it means nothing. I think traditionally it sort of meant kind of nothing, but it still spurs the plot.
What motivates the story. Yeah.
Google AI had a very liberal usage of it. For example, in Saving Private Ryan, the MacGuffin was Private Ryan. Mm-hmm. In that case, if we're going like, just plot device, like a physical plot
literally
device,
what motivates the story, yes.
Then it's easy. Genesis. The Genesis device, Larson. So that's mine. Or this one I really liked. Lebowski's rug. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah. What about Rosebud in Citizen Kane?
That is definitely a traditional MacGuffin. The biggest one I think everybody knows is Pulp Fiction's briefcase. Everybody knows the attaché case with whatever it is in it, a soul, what have you. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I thought that's probably the best usage of a MacGuffin in cinema history, in my opinion.
Yeah. Luis here says, were there any food challenges that Prime Steven Larson could feasibly do, and is there any old men Steven Larson can do? Food challenges.
Prime
like when I was in my 20s, I might have tried to tackle the baseball thing where you go to a game and you get a beer and a hot dog for every inning.
Oh, yeah.
I might have been down to give that a try.
We did like a skit for a 10 for the win once. Where we did like oh God, I can't even imagine this now. A Little Debbie
Star Crunch eating championships. Yeah,
that was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. Let me put it this way. I don't think I ever tested myself enough to know if I could have ever been a competitive eater. I've always liked food, but I don't know. Liking food and being a competitive eater are two completely different things. I don't think competitive eaters necessarily have to love food because, like, how could you treat hot dogs that way? You dunk them in water and shove them down your throat? Yeah. That's horrible. That's not appreciation of glizzies.
Well, there's nothing enjoyable about it either. You're not savoring or enjoying the flavors. You're just shoving the food down your feed hole as quickly as possible.
I will say this. I think at some point, didn't you and I try to tackle Arby's Meat Mountain?
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah. I don't remember if I finished it or not.
I remember it not being as huge as it was made out to be either.
Bit underwhelming, maybe.
Mr. Sinister says, do you guys think we'll ever see Demonito on the main roster? If Mr. Iguana is on Raw tonight, we're going to see...
It's going to happen tonight.
The Demon Puppet tonight, yeah.
A Ninja says, if Naomi's out for a while and the title has to be vacated, who's going to be in that 1v1 match for the vacated title, and who should win?
I mean, if that's going to be the case, Stephanie Vicaire should be in it because she earned the title match, and then do a mini tournament to determine her opponent.
I mean, Io had that championship opportunity this last week.
Yeah, or you could do Io versus Stephanie.
I would say Io versus Stephanie, and Io wins. Because she's as reliable and over a champion as you're going to get. And then you can forward Rhea's story in terms of like, oh, I've got renewed motivation now to beat Io.
Yeah. Jacob Underwood says WWE Vault has been doing best of the Attitude Era streaming. I didn't watch wrestling much back then, but the storylines I've seen were very entertaining. So many characters with depth and stories. When/why did the product lose this entertainment edge?
Oh, that's an easy one. It's this. It was when Vince McMahon bought WCW. Between that and just a couple weeks later, WrestleMania, when Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel. That seemed to turn the story. Like Vince kind of just. There was no longer a sense of urgency in the programming, nor was there a sense of urgency seemingly on Vince McMahon's part to compete. And that was one of the biggest arguments for competition in pro wrestling, because you look at what happened in 2001 when there was no competition. It sucked.
It's no good.
Yeah. So I would say probably that. I think when it was kind of crystal clear that they had won, maybe even preceding the purchase, when it was crystal clear that they had won out over WCW,
Yeah,
they were like, yeah. C Machine, another non-wrestling question. If you had to remove 2 of your 5 senses, which would you pick? And still do your job and enjoy life. So my enjoyment would be significantly downgraded because I would have to go with smell and taste, because, we
need to see and hear for our jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do that for our jobs. So I'd be bummed out, Steve, because I love to taste. I love to taste things. I love to smell things.
Same.
Yeah.
But,
it'd be that.
Yeah, same. Kirby Beef Tips asked, does Dom finally win the Mega Championship at Worlds Collide?
Boy. You got to think it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's the kind of thing where wouldn't that kind of solve a couple issues? Like the crowd's booing Vikingo in Mexico. They love Dom. If they want Dom to be a draw for their AAA programming, then yeah, give him the Mega Championship. People, that'd be hugely popular.
Yeah, but I guess if the idea, though, if the story they have in mind is Dom wins it only for Vikingo to get it back at some point, do you just kick the can down the road with the same problem you have in now? Because if Dom carries that title and gets even more popular, like, will the crowd still boo Vikingo when he wins it back from Dom?
That wouldn't be the plan then. That just simply wouldn't be the plan. There was a comment. And I forget who it was. I think it was in my WrestleJuice video, where somebody said it's entirely possible that WWE is going to try to do with Vikingo that they've tried to do a million times now. And that's make a new Rey Mysterio. They want to get a luchador in-house that can be that guy. You've seen they tried it with Sin Cara. They tried it with, I think they had maybe plans with Dragon Lee on that one. But I think they see that with Vikingo. Vikingo might just head to main roster. I don't know. I mean, he could do double duty, main roster and AAA. But yeah, I just don't think that they would care about, is he going to get the title back? Posh Kenneth says, which non-champion male and female from WWE and AEW would do the most damage if they walked out now without explanation? AEW would be Hangman and Tony.
Mm-hmm.
WWE would be Cody and... Boy, you know, the women's division is so loaded. I don't know.
It'd be Cody and Rhea.
I was going to say Rhea, but like, man, they have plenty of people who take Rhea's place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The women's division is loaded there.
Yeah.
Men's division, I don't know there's anybody who could step into Cody's feet at this point. In his shoes. His shoes at this point.
I mean, they'd probably try to get Punk to that level.
Yeah, but like, dude, come on. Like, how much longer does that guy have?
Count Dookie says, could the cross thing be a worked shoot that eventually becomes a reverse Pillman scenario? Whoa.
Wow. I love that.
So WB set him up for indie success and then just never hire him again because they actually just wanted him out of the way.
So they Pillmanize him.
Yeah.
So Pillman worked the system by having an agreement with WCW, Kevin Sullivan, I think, where he would leave, become the loose cannon, and come back.
Yeah.
And then he didn't do that part, but because they actually let him go.
Yeah, he went to ECW, and instead of going back to WCW, he went to WWF. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So in this scenario, WWE would be like, hey, Cross, we're going to do this work shoots thing where we're going to let you out of your contract, and then they just don't bring him back. I highly doubt that's the case. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case at all. At all. Andrew here says, with all the acquisitions WWE has had with other wrestling companies, how do you think each brand will be represented in the Royal Rumble with their participants? We don't have to name anybody, just like the ratio. For example, here Andrew says 15 main roster, 5 NXT, 3 TNA, 2 AAA. This says 2 AEW. There's not going to be any AEW people in the Royal Rumble. And then 1 celebrity.
So it's kind of, boy, you know, honestly, what they should do, at the very least, make the Women's Rumble 40. Because there's a lot of talent in their women's divisions.
Mm-hmm.
The WWE men's mid-card division is kind of not all that deep.
It's going to be like 80% main roster, though. So that would be 24 participants in each Rumble. You might have 1 or 2 from NXT. You might have Joe Hendry, and then like maybe Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And or Vikingo, and I think that's going to be the extent of it.
My question is, how many of the Grande Americanos are there going to be? And are they going to have a spot where all 3 are in the ring?
Yes.
And they should.
Yeah, if that's,
point at each other.
And it might be, I don't know what the timing is, but if it coincides with Chad Gable's return,
you might get 4.
Yeah.
Myth Trainer says, what wrestler would you pick to co-host Going in Raw for a week? I mean, do I get to choose anybody?
I guess so.
I would choose Tony Storm. Because here's my thing. I often like to pop you with vulgar innuendo. So Going in Raw at this point would simply be me and Tony trading vulgar innuendo.
Okay. I'm going to say Big E because we would just make Seinfeld references the whole time.
You could also do that with Cross.
That's right. Yeah,
I'm kind of curious who's got a beefier, so to speak, Seinfeld vocabulary. Is it Cross or is it Big E?
I did appreciate that he ended his interview with Helwani asking why Newman never got a spinoff.
Right.
That's pretty funny. Stephen M. Smurf Galway says, will we ever see anything ultra-violent again in AAA?
Nope.
Not as long as WWE owns the company, probably not.
What's the most violent thing WWE's done lately? I mean, Gunther drew blood in the Punk match, but that wasn't excessive. Spots were pretty crazy in the ladder match.
Did you hear about some of the things that Jade and Naomi want to do in their match at Evolution?
No.
Mace. Razor blades.
Ooh. That's cool.
Yeah. Of course, that all got turned down. They said, no, you can't do that.
Even fake mace? Come on, you can't do fake mace?
I guess they want to do real mace. I don't know.
Pepper spray?
Yeah.
Is mace and pepper spray the same thing?
That might be different.
Art Guy. When will Grande Americano faction be unmasked? I will guarantee you there are no plans for that right now.
Mm-mm.
There are no plans for that. He was wildly over in Mexico, and the Grande faction is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's any reason to unmask them anytime soon.
Alex Foster here says, outside of the Rumble fiasco from a few years ago, how do you guys honestly think Shane McMahon would run WWE? How would you run it?
Boy, that is such a great question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know, it'd be one thing if he came in to that Rumble and rebooked it in a way that was intriguing and actually paid attention and respect to the stories that had already been set up.
Instead of trying to get himself over.
Yeah, he didn't though. You know, I don't get that. You want to come in and you want to, reconfigure things. Man, you have stories being built. You got to pay attention. You got to pay respect to those stories for your crowd. So I don't know. I mean, that's a great alternate universe question. Who's a Shane McMahon guy? But that's not Shane McMahon.
Yeah. I mean, it might be a list of one, Shane McMahon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Time More here says, if you had a gimmick of bringing a fast food item to the ring like Nino Hamburguesa, what would it be?
It'd be the Burger King chicken sandwich, because my finish would be the chicken slamwich.
Let me think about this.
Well, here's the thing though, yours could be the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and you could be the chicken sandwich 2.0. And then we'd hold them both up and we'd shove them each other's mouths.
There we go. And try to get them to merge, fuse at an atomic level.
There you go. Angel Zeros. Does WWE see Penta as above doing AAA? He's their most over luchador, but they haven't sent him over. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, we haven't heard one way or the other.
He was in a video package at Triplemania.
Mm-hmm, he was, yeah. Yeah.
But outside of that, no, he didn't make an appearance. I mean, given his history with the promotion, it wouldn't surprise me at some point if
yeah, you'd think he would.
Both he and Ray Phoenix,
I think maybe they just felt, hey, these roster people make sense to send over there now, and we'll do Penta. But maybe they want to save Penta for, hey, he's a big deal. We're going to save him for later on.
Mm-hmm. I got a really good. No, go ahead. I got one for a good last one here. So
okay, so I got Dave Matushek, and then we'll go to yours. So he says, since Takeshita won the G1, what other non-contracted, non-New Japan wrestler should win the tournament?
Seth Rollins.
That's a great answer. I'd go with Omos.
Great.
Omos has a killer 2026. Wins the Mega Championship, the G1,
the
Rumble, Cody's title, dethrones Cody.
There you go.
Big man style. Big man time.
Ken Adams Business Firm says, as a viewer for the past year or two, who in God's name is Hilton? You guys mention him a lot as if he was a third to you two. Pretty sure Steve's very trustable words has said Larson fought him once. But, who is this guy?
I have been asking myself this question, Larson, since 1995.
I have been asking myself this question since 1988. All right?
I remember I'm almost positive this dude was in my geometry class. Mrs. Suter's class. I think he was in that class with me. And I remember his laugh even back. That might have been 94. And being like, what is with this guy? He's too much. This is back in 94, over 30 years ago. I was like, this guy's too much. And somehow he was in my wedding party. He was in wasn't he in your wedding party? He was in your wedding
absolutely.
party?
Yeah.
He's just been around. He was a roommate of both of ours for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
He almost beat up my podcasting partner 25 years ago.
I don't think that ever happened.
That was crazy. Ken Adams business. I don't even know who this guy is. He's going to be on my couch on Sunday if I get my way. There might be an explosion here if Larson comes over too. 10 o'clock in the morning, a couple of old guys fighting in my office.
And you know I'm not a morning person at all.
Oh, golly. Yeah, I don't fucking know who this guy is. I don't know. I've spent many road trips from Sacramento to LA to Sacramento with this guy. I don't know one thing about what makes him tick. Or if he's even a real person.
Maybe for a bonus episode we should just interview Hilton. And give
God. Oh my God.
Give the friendos the answers they want, and then we'll get the answers that seemingly we don't have, even though we've known him. Each of us have known him for 30 plus years.
Bro, do you know our membership would explode through the roof? What a great idea!
All right,
wow.
To run it by him.
That's nuts.
Check his availability after Clash. I can see it now. Who is Hilton? There you go. There's your
Ultimate
title.
Hilton shoot interview.
Yeah.
We need it, and we got to do it on like my fucking shit. We should do that shit in person and put it on my shitty little camera. Just make it so shoot interview. The Hilton shoot interview would be great. Wow, that was amazing. That was a great idea. Thank you, Ken Adams Business Firm. Your questions might be answered, or you might be left with more questions after an hour of hearing Hilton talk.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
My favorite Hilton Friendo story is when we went to Action Coast.
Yeah.
And Dope met us there.
Yeah.
And I see him come in and I go over and I'm like, hey, we're sitting over there. You get to go sit next to Hilton. And he said, he's a real person?
I think we both went,
I don't know. But he's sitting in that chair. I love that Dope thought he was a fucking creation. He thought it was made up by us. Oh, man. That shit kills me. All right. That's going to do it for the show today, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.